Hello, I'm Andrea Lewis, and I'm an attorney at Searcy, Denney, Scarola, Barnhart, and Shipley. I am a former prosecutor at the Palm Beach County State Attorney's Office. I was a felony prosecutor, and I was also the Deputy Chief of County Court. During my time as the Deputy Chief of County Court, I handled hundreds, if not thousands, of DUI cases. Now, DUI is can be a very tricky area of the law. There's different types of DUI. DUI can be through both drinking too much alcohol, or it can also be a person who's under the influence of a drug, an illegal substance or a legal substance. Many people do not know that they can get a DUI even though they have a valid prescription for a particular drug from their doctor. The law in the state of Florida is that a person cannot operate a motor vehicle if they are above the legal limit, which is 0.08, or if they are under the influence of a substance that is causing their normal faculties to be impaired. Normal faculties means it's a person's ability to walk, to talk, to think, to drive, any of the different tasks or functions that one would expect and want a driver of a motor vehicle to possess. Operating a motor vehicle does not necessarily mean that the person just cannot drive. They cannot actually be in a vehicle if the person is within a reach of the keys in the motor vehicle to the point where they could drive off. That is not permitted. And the law in the state of Florida would say that that person has violated the driving under the influence statute, and that person will be prosecuted. When victims would ask me if they needed to seek out a civil attorney in order to help them or personally represent them in the case, the answer, if they were injured, is yes. The prosecutor is not able, under any circumstances, to get damages for an injured party for things like pain and suffering, things that are not quite as tangible, things that are very real damages. If a person now has back pain for the rest of their life, that's a very real damage, but that is not a damage that a prosecutor would be able to obtain money for. What the victim would need to do then is go and obtain hire a civil attorney. Ideally, when an injured party is looking for an attorney, they need to look at their experience with DUI law. They need to look at how many driving under the influence cases the person has handled and prosecuted. Obviously, if the person does have some type of experience, whether that be in the public defender's office or in the state attorney's office or other areas where they are obviously going to be much more familiar with this very specific type of law, that would certainly be a plus. This is an area of law that unless someone is very familiar with the different types of DUI and the case law on this, it can be very difficult for an attorney to navigate. So it's important to make sure that whatever attorney an injured party chooses, that person is very well versed in the area of DUI law.